I think they all run fast enough as it is. I don't think they want to run any faster. But there's definite results right away. I will tell you that instantly the morale changes. The morale goes up. Because I also work with teams a lot on appreciation and creating what I call a kudos environment where everybody is aware and focused on what's good and right versus what's wrong. And they start celebrating it. And I introduce fun things for them that are easy to help them acknowledge and celebrate each other in the workplace environment. So they notice a change in morale. They notice a change, attitudes are improved almost instantaneous. Because I teach them that attitude is a skill set, and I teach them how to have a positive attitude, and then it's not just because you feel like it. I have a saying that I say, fake it until you feel it. So, there's a lot of different things but I would say communication, they understand how they can approach each other without creating energy and negative emotion. So it frees them up. Some of the most recent feedback that I had was within 2 days of a workshop, just the change of everybody, of how they interacted and how much more lively. It was like it revitalized the team, it revitalized the practice. They were excited again to implement new things. I work with teams on how to implement new things as well. I have what I call the R.I.S.E process. And it is an acronym because I'm an acronym addict, but R.I.S.E stands for Review, Implement, Sustain, and Evaluate. And it's a 4-step process that no matter what you implement will make you succeed, help you succeed at it. So the R.I.S.E, the R stands for Review what you're currently doing and evaluate what's in it for the practice and the patients if we change. And what's good that's still working that we continue to do, or what do we need to drop? So that's the review part. So you know why you're implementing. Everybody on the team knows why. You're not getting rid of everything. You're keeping what's working. You're getting rid of what's not working. And then you're talking about what is it that you really want to implement. And then the I is for the implementation process. Most dental teams spend a very short time talking about how to implement something new. And they need to really slow down and spend time on that part and saying, who's going to do it? How are we going to do it? The who, what, when, where, why, and how, and really defining what does this look like, and then actually set a rollout date. So when you actually introduce it to the patients, you're ready. So you practice verbal skills, you practice role playing, you know what happens when you do this, who's, all those answers, and that simplifies the implementation process. I think most of the time when we implement things, we fail because we're not quite sure what to do when this happens or that happens. The S is for sustain. If we're going to implement something, the only way we're going to sustain it is if it becomes a habit. And the only way to form a habit is if we have precise, consistent, realistic repetition. So it's the things that I'm going to do day in and day out over and over until it becomes a habit. And most habits form within a period of 17 to 254 days. If you're really sharp, maybe 17, or it's an easier habit. There's a cutoff point though at 254. If you don't have it by then, you're probably not going to get it. 66 though is the average. So if you and your team, if you were the doctor hiring me for your team, if you and your team did something the precise same way every day, consistently, for 66 days in a row, it would become so ingrained it would be automatic pilot. Because then when something happens and you're worried, you go into automatic pilot, you just do it. You don't have to think about it. So that would be the sustain. And the E is for evaluate, and that is to ongoing evaluation. So how is this working? Are we still doing what we want to do? Is it still working well for the practice? Because the practice continues to change. So that would be another process, or it's what I call the RISE philosophy, because it teaches the entire team to rise up. You don't have like A, B, or C team members anymore. You have everybody here versus all over the place. So.